The Pokemon world is vast and wide, and while there are many Pokemon trainers who choose to travel that land, catching new Pokemon and challenging the Pokemon League, others choose a more peaceful path, one filled with comfy towns, family, and of course, food! This is the Slowpoke Shack, a Pokemon fan game that turns the Pokemon formula on its head. Instead of traveling the land fighting gym leaders and evil teams, you instead move to a small town, open a restaurant, and spend your days serving customers, meeting locals, and getting in fights with rival restaurants. But while I came to the Slowpoke Shack for a comfy Stardew Valley type Pokemon vibe, I stayed for the story. Because among all the lively characters and wild Pokemon running around the town, not everything is peaceful in Silver Spring. As you begin to settle into your new life, you may discover illegal crimes, nefarious plots, and the bizarre mysteries surrounding this small town. Trust me, this game cooks. Like, literally. Our story begins with our main character Archer, taking his first steps into Silver Spring with his pet Growlithe Growls. After a huge argument with our father, Archer decided to move away from the big city, and with the help of his Uncle Lou and younger cousin Mia, moved to Silver Spring to fulfill his dream of opening a restaurant, named the Slowpoke Shack, after Mia's pet Slowpoke, Pokey. We're gonna eat that Slowpoke. Unlike our father, Uncle Lou and Mia are super supportive. They didn't just help us open the Slowpoke Shack, they even got us a house and promised to eat at our restaurant every day. Since we didn't have to actually open until tomorrow, we took some time to actually explore the town of Silver Spring. Since the town is far away from the big city, we're surrounded by nature, with feral Pokemon crawling around the overworld and a bunch of kids who don't really have anything to do other than hang out and battle. Don't get me wrong though, there's still a lot to do in the town. It's more than, I don't know, 4 houses and a Pokemon lab. We're not in the boonies for Arceus' sake. And speaking of the locals, they're super friendly. This town is gorgeous, and hey, there's even another restaurant, the Kingler's Kitchen. You should try the food at Kingler's Kitchen. Hold the fucking phone. There's another restaurant in town? Looks like we've got some competition here, Growls. You should let me burn it to the ground. I mean, why else would we have a fire Pokemon, right? For legal reasons, this is a joke. I'm sure the people at Kingler's Kitchen are nice and not psychopaths. Now, our restaurant just happened to be located on the beach, which is the perfect spot for feeding hungry swimmers looking to fuel up before they catch water Pokemon. I'm just saying, if you're gonna tread water waiting for kids to float by on Pokemon, you need to get some protein in you. As we prepared to open the Slowpoke Shack for its first day of business, we were surprised to find that Mia was already there. She really wanted to be our first customer, and it's actually really sweet. Oh, well, I guess Lou was also there taking a nap in the sun, and I can't emphasize enough how nice it is to have family that, actually supports us. But we actually arrived just in time, since our food supplier, Mike, just got here with the food we'll be serving. Plant-based sausages. Don't get me wrong, I guess that makes sense that people would be upset to eat actual Pokemon, and I hear Torchic farming is a very unethical practice, but you're telling me our dream is to open a restaurant where the entire menu is coffee, berry juice, and store-bought plain hot dogs? I thought we were supposed to be a chef! Like we'd be cooking up some corfish cakes, or knackly salted wooloo chops, but plant-based hot dogs? Wait, maybe that just means the hot dogs are made from like ground up Bulbasaur? Does that count as a vegetarian in this world? Who knows, maybe the actual draw of the Slowpoke Shack is you get to play with Growls while you eat. But I have another theory. I think Archer just wants to see Mike.
Hi, I'm Archer, what's your name?
Mike.
Nice to meet you, Mike. I'm new to Silver Spring. I dream of running a thriving restaurant I'm about to open for the first time, so feel free to...
Busy, maybe later.
Oh, okay. Have a good day.
The chemistry was electric. Clearly, Mike was obsessed with us, and my chat grew obsessed with him. Mike was dark, mysterious, and he wanted nothing more to do with us. But whether Mike liked it or not, he was gonna be our friend. I'd let him give me his hot dog any day. But for now, we did have a job to do. Running the restaurant mostly means we just have to remember our recipes. Hot dog, grill, bun, coffee, cup, pour, juice, press, serve. I do think it's a little weird our only 2 beverage options are tomato and nanab berry juice, because do tomato and banana juice even go well with vegan hot dogs? I don't know, but hey, our customers seemed to like it. For a new restaurant, we actually got a lot of people interested and promised they'd come back. Even Mike stopped by and ordered some coffee, although he seemed strangely grossed out by the hot dogs. And us, but we'll get him one of these days. If a Pokemon breaks out of its ball, you just throw some more until they stay. All in all, it was a really good first day of business. That is, until we met Brett and Madison, who ambushed us right as we were closing up shop. Turns out the two of them work for Kingler's Kitchen, the only other restaurant in town, and they're not too happy about having some competition.
You've got some real nerve setting up here. You even got a clue what you're doing?
Well,
just remember, kid, you start stealing more of our customers, and let's just say you won't enjoy the consequences. You should think about it. See you around, kiddo.
Team Flare wannabe crab-looking asses? I mean, that's not quite what I had in mind in terms of meeting new faces.
Oh, Growls, what do you think we should do?
What? No! Oh my god, you're so violent, Growls! I just wanted to burn the restaurant down! That's disgusting! After that unpleasant encounter, I asked Uncle Lou what to do about the Blunder Twins, but he said to just try and brush them off. The two hooligans hadn't really done anything particularly harmful, and if they did, he promised he would take care of them. And then he gave us an axe. To chop trees in the forest, of course! To explore the nature around Silver Springs and, catch some wild Pokemon that were running around, fight trainers. Nothing nefarious. After exploring for a bit, we turned in and we woke up the next day to try and settle into our routine, get used to living in such a small town. We chatted up local trainers, served some repeat customers who hopefully would become regulars, hit on Mike, said hi to Mia and Uncle Lube, and we even got our first Karen. Aw, now we're a real restaurant.
What is this?
It's a tomato juice. You asked for it?
Huh. No. I ordered a Nanab juice. I'm pretty sure you said... are you the manager here?
I'm the owner, yeah.
You're the owner and you can't even manage a simple order.
I'm sorry for the mistake. I'll get you a Nanab juice right away. I hope Giratina takes pity on their soul. But hey, he was still better than Brett and Madison. Not only did they kick in our door after closing time, which is a dick move, but then they complained about our food, pushed over our plant, and called us the Slowpoke Stink? Listen, I know my food is plant-based and not for everyone, but even store-bought hot dogs have to be better than whatever they're serving at the Kingler's Coochie. Not even a Snorlax would eat something served by these two dillweeds, and they probably knew it too. To make matters worse, a frickin' Wingull snuck into our restaurant and ate most of our produce. See, this is why they're considered the beach version of Zubat. I didn't even have enough berries to open the restaurant tomorrow, and this early into a new restaurant's life, that was basically a death sentence. We were toast. Our only customers would be Garbodors at this rate. We needed to find something to serve. And after talking to Uncle Lou, Mia offered to take us to the local forest shrine. Apparently, there were a couple berry bushes there. Was it illegal and questionably sacrilegious? Maybe. But could we guarantee our customers fresh produce? Absolutely. And that's the Slowpoke Shack guarantee. Now it was just a matter of battling all the wild Pokemon and trainers with Mia to get up there. And luckily, Mia can hold her own in a battle. It's nice to spend some time with her. Since I grew up in the city and she grew up in town, it's not like we got to actually see each other all that often. Don't get me wrong, Uncle Lou is amazing. He's always got her back, but it's nice to have someone to talk to that, isn't a parent. We just get to have fun talking about how goofy Growls and Pokey are, about my dreams of running a restaurant, how lonely she is before we moved here. And eventually, we do reach the forest shrine. It's dedicated to an unknown legendary forest spirit Pokemon, one who wanders through time. Wow, I wonder who that could be. Ignoring the obvious, we do spot the berries we need to harvest for the restaurant. We just need to, hop over the fence and trounce on sacred Pokemon land, and we're getting a divine punishment. You know what? Fair. A blinding light emitted from the shrine, knocking us unconscious, where we began to have random visions. A man in a hospital room, desperate to save his family, telling us we're in his way. Our father, telling us he's ashamed of us. And Mia, telling us she never wants to see us again and that she'll never forgive us for what we did. And then we wake up, confused, with Mia and Growls worried about us. Were those visions of the past? No, our dad was always disappointed in us, but he never said it out loud like that, and Mia's never been that upset with us. So, then was this the future? Was there any way to stop that? What could we have done to hurt her so much? And who was that man in the hospital saying we put his family in danger? Maybe it was all just an illusion. A dream. Yeah, let's just say that. But who cares about that? Because we just met Jeffrey, the best Pokemon NPC to ever exist. He's dressed in a full Lotad outfit because Lotad is his favorite Pokemon. Can't believe they added furries to this game. Anyways, Jeffrey told us that if we catch 5 Pokemon in the forest, he'd give us his reward. And since you never want to piss off a man in a fursuit, I obliged.
Man, hey, I caught 5 Pokemon.
Wowzers, that was quick.
So, what's my reward?
Here it is.
There's nothing in your hand.
Exactly.
What do you mean exactly?
The real reward is the Pokemon you caught along the way. Bye.
Actually, you know what? Dude, Jeffrey's sick as hell.
You know what? Maybe let's just call it a day and hope those visions were just nightmares. When we woke up the next morning, it felt like our body was made of lead. I don't know if it's because of the constant exercise and battling that we're not used to, or if those visions had actually taken a physical toll on us, but I've never felt more like a shuckle. I just wanted to stay home, but that's not what running a new restaurant is like. So reluctantly, we have to slog through our routine. Grouse and I spent the day taking orders, heating up hot dogs, hitting on mic, chatting with customers, you know, the usual stuff.
Oh, hey Mike. 2 cups of coffee today? Yup. Awesome. Coming right up. I'll get him to try my hot dog one of these days. One of these days.
And hey, we even made a new friend, Officer Darcy, and at first she seemed like, well, a lot, but she came through where it counts. When the King Larkuchi twins came around to cause trouble, it's kind of nice to have the strong arm of the law on your side. The two looked like a pair of shivering espers, and all they could really muster in front of Darcy was a,
Could I get a raw sausage?
what?
Dude, he wants my raw sausage. What do you mean, what? You know what a raw sausage is, idiot? Sorry, I didn't mean to say idiot. Brett, what the fuck are you doing? Dude, the plan, remember? You're asking for a hot dog? No! I want a raw sausage! That's not... Raw sausage is not on the menu. Just get a hot dog, who cares? I'll pay you the full price! I just want a raw sausage! I mean, okay. 1 raw sausage on a plate. I don't need a plate! 1 raw sausage coming right up.
It's so satisfying seeing those 2 little Charmander turds shaking their boots, but I really couldn't enjoy it. Something about yesterday just kept bothering me, was on my mind, and Growls agreed. Maybe there was a Gengar giving me nightmares, but no. The more I think about it, those visions yesterday felt too real to be dreams or illusions. When we talked to Uncle Lou about it, since, you know, he's the greatest person ever, he said that there might be a book about the legendary Pokemon Shrine in the library, but we searched that entire building head to toe and couldn't find anything. Even with Mia and Pokey blowing off their homework to help us search, all that turned up were a bunch of children who wanted to battle Pokemon. It's like someone had taken the book or was hiding it from us. Or maybe it never existed. We looked so hard we ended up trespassing and even ended up in trouble with Darcy. Nothing a quick Pokemon battle couldn't fix, but it's not the best way to start a relationship with your local sheriff. And now I'm sure. I don't know why, but our health is deteriorating. The next day, we woke up feeling terrible. And we must have looked it too, because Mia insisted that we take the day off from the Slowpoke Shack, but I can't. It's my dream to run a restaurant, and I'm not letting it die just because I'm not feeling well. She tried to force us into a sick day with a Pokemon battle, but unfortunately for her, it's just not that easy to beat us.
Hi, Niam. You're the worst! Fine, just don't blame me if you pass out again. I need to go to school. The bridge got fixed. It's the worst day ever.
I'm sorry, Mia, but I just can't afford to take a day off when there's a horde of out-of-town swimmers here for the day. We're literally a beachside restaurant, which means we're gonna rake in Pokédough. Or at least we would have if Madison didn't try to butt in and steal our business. And at this point, she's basically just making up lies and slander.
A restaurant that opened this week means it's inexperienced. Also, it's run by a single person. The wait times will be atrocious. Our restaurant, on the other hand, has been the town's favorite for decades. That's because it was the only restaurant in town, you ducklet. Teacher, is the briefing over? Yes, you're free to go. Wait, before you go, I need to tell you all that the Kingler Kitchen is having a special offer today. Massive discounts and free items. You can't miss out. Oh, wow, sounds awesome. It's a limited time offer, so hurry. Let's go there now.
Listen, Madison, you may be able to push me around because I'm exhausted, have legendary Pokemon sickness, and spend every day battling trainers and running a restaurant where my only help is a Growlithe. Let's be honest, he's cute as hell, but definitely a health code violation. But you don't mess with Uncle Lou's family, because he's like a charging Machoke when he's angry. He is a one-man wishy-washy horde. While we were working for the day, he decided to take justice into his own hands. He walked right into the Kingler's coochie, pretended he found his own Joltik in his food, then attacked Madison with it, and then he had his Snorlax stampede through the front door. This man is a menace, and I would gladly lay down my life for him. Maybe we just don't tell Officer Darcy what happened, because this was definitely illegal. But hey, it worked out. All the swimmers flocked to the Slowpoke Shack, disgusted by the idea of finding Joltiks in their food. And don't you all worry, here at the Slowpoke Shack, food safety is our highest concern, as long as you don't mind Growlithe fur in your vegan hot dogs. Speaking of which, part of Lou's master plan was having his Joltik spy on the Coochie twins to see what they were up to, and it turns out the raw sausage they had bought the other day was sent off to a lab to get tested. They were trying to steal our recipe, which, let me just say, is insane. It's not like we made the vegan hot dogs ourselves, we buy these from Hot Mike the supplier. We're not grinding up Odyshes in the back of the restaurant, especially since I learned we specifically advertised that these hot dogs are Pokemon free. But no, the two apparently couldn't get in contact with Mike to buy some hot dogs. And being on the warpath that he is, Lou suggested the two of us raid the food laboratory they sent the sausage to. You know what? Why not? Let's do it. I need some good quality time with Uncle Lou. And we even met my favorite townie, Jeffrey! This time he wants us to catch 10 Pokemon. And our prize was, a hug. Yay. Anyways, Lou, Growls, and I tracked down the food lab, kicked down the door, beat him in a Pokemon battle, and retrieved our sausage. It's good that we stopped him from replicating our recipe, or, well, Hot Mike's recipe, but I am exhausted, both mentally and physically. Growls and Lou are actually really worried about me, so maybe Mia has a point, and we need to take a break. So the next day, we were ready to tap into our inner slacking and just laze around the house. Some good rest and relaxation. But that just wasn't in the books for us. Right as we were getting ready, we heard a knock at the door. It was Officer Darcy, and it was serious. She had a warrant for our arrest. At first, I thought this was because of all the chaos Lou caused at the Kingler's kitchen, or maybe breaking and entering into the laboratory, but no. We were being charged with illegally selling Slowpoke meat in our quote-unquote vegan hot dogs. Hey, I know I openly threatened to eat Pokey earlier, and I know I named our restaurant the Slowpoke Shack. And I know it really doesn't sound good when I say it all out loud, but seriously, this is a clear nonsense claim made up by Brett and Madison at the Kingler's Kitchen. Or at least I thought it was. But the police had done their own tests with food in our kitchen and they were right. Our hot dogs were Slowpoke meat. Every single one we had served our customers was made with at least 80% Slowpoke. It was true. I know I like to joke about eating Pokemon or deciding which one would be the tastiest, but you'd probably be horrified to learn if your local Chipotle was secretly feeding you cats and dogs and calling it something else. Our restaurant, what the hell do we do about this? We swore to Officer Darcy that we didn't know that the hot dogs were Slowpoke meat. We just bought them from Mike. And now that I mention it, Mike always made sure to avoid eating the hot dogs. Every time he ordered, he only got just 2 coffees. He had to know something about this. And more than that, we just needed to know why he would do this and hopefully clear our name. Darcy agreed to help us out, meaning one thing: friendship with Mike is over. Officer Darcy is my new love interest. I don't even know where we'd begin to track Mike down, but the Slowpoke Shack is my dream, even if it needs to be closed down for now. It sucks, but that's the right thing to do until we clear this up. The only issue is, how do we tell Mia this? She ate at the Slowpoke Shack every day, and her Slowpoke Pokey is her favorite Pokemon. If all of this is true, I don't think she'd ever forgive us. But we can't think about that. For now, we have a mission. Track down Mike, who was last spotted on the beach, and get some answers. After Officer Darcy and I beat down some of the local trainers and wild Pokemon, we managed to spot Mike and gave chase.
Chat, romance with Mike is canceled. Officer Darcy is my wife now.
Mike had run into Silver Spring Cove, a beautiful cave crawling with water Pokemon such as Vaporeon and Froakie. I didn't even know this was a thing, but according to Officer Darcy, it's full of dangerous but beautiful Pokemon. And you know what? It's true. This place was crawling with powerful critters, and more than that, the entire cave was littered with notes describing the author's mind being controlled by some crazed mystical Pokemon. This place was kind of creepy. I can see why the townsfolk try and avoid it, which, unfortunately, also makes it the perfect hiding spot for a criminal enterprise. When we found Mike, my worst fears came true. He was surrounded by Slowpokes, all of which had missing tails.
Mike! Oh my god, it's true! Stay away from me! All of these poor Slowpoke. There's nowhere to run, Mike. We just need to talk about the food you've been supplying Archer. Get away, I haven't done anything wrong!
But, you know, this place does kind of look familiar. It looks just like the legendary Pokemon Shrine in Silver Spring Woods, the same one that gave us those visions. We tried to warn Officer Darcy, we did, but she just moved forward and recklessly approached the shrine, only for there to be another bright blue burst of light, a legendary Pokemon cry, and all of a sudden, she was possessed. Her mind was no longer her own. God damn it, how do we lose 2 love interests in one day? Anyways, you know the drill. Time to defeat Officer Darcy in a Pokemon battle. And luckily, we made sure to capture some of the powerful Pokemon we ran into through the caves. So, it was kind of a breeze, no problem. I still don't know what these shrines are for, or why I was sent those visions by a legendary Pokemon, but for now, I have a Mike-sized problem to deal with, because looking at all the evidence, my worst fears were true. Those plant-based hot dogs were in fact Slowpoke meat, and the Coochie Gang wasted no time spreading the news.
The Slowpoke Shack was deceiving us all along. Isn't it ironic? The Slowpoke stink selling Slowpoke meat. We should have seen this coming. We need to shut this place down for good. Wait, we've been eating Slowpoke meat this whole time? No wonder it tasted so good. This revolting.
Everyone in Silver Spring hated us. And rightfully so, this was a massive scandal. They had all eaten Pokemon meat thinking it was vegan food, and I didn't really have a response. All I could really say was I didn't know, but that wasn't gonna satisfy anyone. No one was gonna forgive us, including Mia.
My supplier confessed and cleared my name.
Oh, thank goodness. But those clowns, they're spreading the news fast. This is a disaster. My reputation is in pieces just like that. People will understand. Eventually. That's not the point! They still ate Slowpoke Tail! Can't believe this. Does Mia know? Mia. Please tell me it isn't true. Kingler Kitchen is spreading lies again, right? Mia, I'm so sorry, but just listen. No! I had no idea. My supplier deceived me. I can't believe it. Mia, I understand how you feel, but you have to understand I didn't know. Doesn't matter if you knew or didn't know. I ate Slowpoke meat. It's beyond horrible. I know, and I'm so sorry. Don't come near me. Mia, please try to calm down. How can I ever look at Pokey the same way again? Mouth-wateringly. I'm sorry! She was heartbroken. It played out just like it did in my vision. I didn't have a home here anymore. I needed to leave. So, the next day, Growls and I packed our bags and we moved back to the city. Silver Spring didn't need the Slowpoke Shack. Silver Spring didn't need me. After a long car ride, we said goodbye to Uncle Lou, who, even through this scandal, still had our backs. If there's one thing about Silver Spring I'm gonna miss, it's him. So we walked up the stairs, said hi to our mom, and prepared for a very awkward conversation with our dad. I wish I could say this outcome was a surprise, but it happened just like it did in my vision. Just like it had happened a million times before. He told me I was a failure, that I was a dreamer, that opening up a restaurant was ridiculous, and if I had just listened to him, then none of this would have ever happened. Except this time, it was different. This time, I couldn't deny it. He was right. What other choice did we have but to settle into our new life here? Over the next month, I didn't keep in touch with many people back in Silver Spring, but I did hear the occasional rumor from a couple Pokemon trainers who passed through town. It seems like the Kingler's Kitchen was thriving, which I can only believe is because they don't have any competition now. It seems like Officer Darcy made a full recovery, which is nice. Just goes to show legendary Pokemon are not to be messed with. The one person we do talk to often, though, is Uncle Lou. He keeps trying to get us to come back and open up the Slowpoke Shack, but I don't see a point. If even Mia won't talk to us, I don't know how anyone else could forgive us. And, you know, we got kind of a nice thing going here. We have a fancy new office job. Every day we wake up, stare at a computer screen for 8 hours, go home, and, well, we do it again. Yeah, it's soul-crushing work, and yeah, they won't even let Growls run around the office, but at least we've made a friend, Harvey. He's not the brightest, but at least he's kind, and he even offered to give me 2 tickets to a premium camping spot in the woods. They're expensive, and you know what? Why not? I've been so depressed the past couple months, and I really miss the nature around Silver Spring. You know, all the Pokemon running around and trainers to battle. It would be good to let our Pokemon stretch their legs, too. At first, we wanted to invite Uncle Lou as a surprise, you know. He's done so much for us in the restaurant, but he actually turned it around and surprised us with some good news instead. I've got some fantastic news for you. What's up? For the past month, I've been spreading the truth about what really happened. I've been telling everyone how you were innocent and how you deserve a second chance. I know my dad is angry. And I know he's getting defensive. Most parents would be if their child had inevitably committed multiple crimes against Pokemon. Maybe we didn't run the cleanest restaurant. Our kitchen was full of Growlithe hair. We only served fruit salads and illegal Slowpoke hot dogs. We immediately got into a feud with other small business owners. We nearly collapsed because of health issues. And yes, we committed multiple crimes, more than the ones we were accused of. But god damn it, running a restaurant was our dream. And we're gonna convince our dad that we can do this one way or another. And maybe this camping trip was the best way to do that. So we invited him along. Now, Dad and I might not always get along, but one thing we can agree on is that nature is special. There's something so freeing about wild Pokemon running through the trees, trainers itching for a fight, and that fresh air. Since my dad had spent his whole life in the city, he loves this little nature park more than anything. It's kind of magical, you know? He used to take me and my mom here all the time when I was younger, but I can't even remember the last time we came here. We decided to pitch our tent at the back of the park, and to get there, it meant the two of us had to fight through hordes of trainers and wild Pokemon alike. But honestly, it's more fun than I thought. You know, when my dad's not judging my life choices, he can be kind of a cool person. I say that, but we still have these awkward silences hanging over us. It feels like there's a Hatterene around where a single sound will make him freak out at you. It feels like we're two strangers trying to get to know each other again.
Why does it feel like we're strangers?
So, how's work? Usual. Any interesting projects lately? No, it's just routine stuff. Well, routine can be good. Keep things predictable. Hopefully you'll get that promotion soon.
You know, I actually think I preferred silence.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, when you were a kid, you used to love going to lakes.
Really?
I don't remember. You'd run around, try to catch Magikarp with your bare hands. Always end up soaked. Sounds like something I'd do. Your mother would pack us lunches and we'd spend the whole day here. Those were simpler times. Yeah, simple.
Do you ever miss those times?
No. No point dwelling on the past. The present and future are what matter. It's easy for me to accept that things change. People grow up and grow apart. You want to reopen the shack, don't you? Okay, I guess we're doing this. I understand it was your dream. It is my dream, not was. I want to create something that people will love. Something I can be proud of. You can achieve that right here in Goldridge. Goldridge is the exact opposite. I feel like I'm always stuck in a cage here. I don't want to see you fail again. I didn't fail. The incident wasn't my fault. I understand that, but it's stable here. It's safe.
Before we got too into our fight though, Harvey showed up with his girlfriend. We still needed to set up our campsite before it got dark. I swear, sometimes my dad and I are like Zangooses and Vipers. We just don't ever see eye to eye. Maybe the best thing to do was to eat the dinners Mom prepared for us and head to bed and maybe try talking again in the morning.
Oh shit.
Okay, if I had a nickel for every time a Wingull ate all my prepared food and I had to forage for berries in the woods, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. Anyways, we told Harvey and our dad that this wasn't a big deal. We've done this before, and outside of the different wild Pokemon running around, the woods here are pretty similar to the ones back home. I mean, around Silver Spring. So with the help of our Pokemon, we began to forage for some random berries and roots around the park, and it's good to be able to cook again. And let me just say, this one is kind of a masterpiece. I know this is what I'm meant to do, especially when my food is apparently so good that even the wild Ursa-rings want to taste. Which, now that I say that out loud, that might be as much of a problem as it is a compliment. We're prepared for a battle, but our dad, being the man he is even more prepared. He brought a Firestone for us. Well, for Growl specifically, but between our new Arcanine and our other Pokemon, we have no trouble putting this big bear to rest. Speaking of which, it's probably the right time for us to turn in ourselves, but I still had some questions for our dad.
Why'd you have that Firestone with you? Oh, it was gonna be a surprise gift for you. Oh, thanks, Dad. I thought it might lift your spirits. I've noticed you've been stressed. You just noticed? You really impressed me today. Huh? The dinner. It was surprisingly good. Why aren't you the one cooking dinner for us? I've had your mother's cooking for decades. I could use a change. Yeah. You have real talent, Archer. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Dad. Feels weird. He never gives this many compliments. Was your food this good at the Slowpoke Shack? Well, illegal ingredients help. I mean, it was decent, I guess, if you ignored the hot dogs, obviously. You know, all those battles in the park today reminded me of my old passion for Pokemon battles. You had a passion for battles? Since when? Well, since I was born. I always loved them, but I never had much chance to develop as a trainer. I got my first Pokemon late, and Goldridge isn't the greatest place to train. I remember you mentioning that. It's hard to become a trainer without the right environment. Exactly. Do you remember when I turned your apartment into a gym for Halloween? It was amazing. Your mother wasn't impressed, though. Yeah, I remember. Seeing you cook with so much passion today made me realize something. What? It's not just a job for you. It's who you are. It is, yeah. If I had the chance to be a full-time trainer, I would have loved it. Knowing I had that opportunity, just being forced to do something else would have made me miserable. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you have my blessing, Archer. Go back to Silver Spring, reopen your restaurant, pursue your dream. You're serious? If it'll make you happy. Thanks, Dad. This means a lot to me. Just make sure you make the right decisions, and maybe save a table for your old man, once in a while. Deal! And Dad, maybe we can have some battles together sometime, too. I'd love that. Who knows? Maybe I'll finally get a chance to become the trainer I always wanted to be. Yeah, it's never too late. My man perked up real quick.
So, with his blessing, we moved back to Silver Spring. Uncle Lou welcomed us back with open arms, and we even got to reopen the restaurant, albeit with a new name. Probably want to stay away from the Slowpoke branding. Grills with Growls. He's definitely a big fan of it, and we even got a new deep fryer. And let me just say, if it turns out these potatoes are somehow Pokemon based, at that point, I think I'll just give up. Jokes aside, while I'm happy to be back in Silver Spring and serving customers again, there's still a lot on my mind. I need to make up with Mia, I need to take care of the Kingler-Kuchi twins, and what the hell is up with those legendary Pokemon shrines, and who was that man from my final vision? Well, if you the viewer want to find out, then I recommend you should play the full release of the Slowpoke Shack. I highly recommend supporting the original creator. When I played this, it was still incomplete, but since then, the full release is out now. I can't share a full link to the game for fear that Daddy Nintendo will bring the hammer down on me, but it's my favorite Pokemon fan game I've played in a long time, and if you know how to Google, you can definitely find it for yourself. Have a nice damn rest of your day.